the third annual Forum on Drug Policy at Roosevelt University in downtown Chicago. Medical marijuana, which is my public controversy that I'm doing on. Here's the gathering for the forum right now. As you can see, along with web, print, on the news, TV shows, forums is another way that medical marijuana activists get their messages out. What is your view on medical marijuana?
Cannabis has medical uses. People should be able to use it for that. They should be protected. It should be able to be researched by scientists to study it, analyze it. It has, dozens of different active compounds, cannabinoids of different types, not just THC. We have many different events. We have regular public meetings where people can come in and learn the latest, both about legislation, about our progress as an organization, as well as any discussion about any aspects, factual, scientific, or otherwise, related to cannabis. We engage in different speaking events, panels, interviews, talking to students at high schools and colleges and seminars. We also work lobbying directly, so not just educating the public, but also educating lawmakers. We work with city councils, mayor's offices in different cities and communities. We work with the legislators in Springfield. We have regular lobby days when they're down there in session in the springtime, about once a month. So we go out, we set up our table, we have all of our informational handouts, try to raise awareness both about our organization as well as about the different aspects related to cannabis. And then we have all of our typical marketing, website, Facebook, Twitter, just trying to get our message out there in a general sort of way and get more supporters involved.
The people that give you a good name and really help your cause, and who are the people who kind of, can hinder it or kind of get misinterpreted or maybe stereotype your cause too?
In any issue, in any organization, in any cause, you're always going to have people that represent things better or worse. Definitely we always want to be as factual, as scientific, as honest about both the science and the reality of cannabis and cannabis policy, as well as our organization and our goals. People are going to have different feelings about different aspects of cannabis policy. We don't claim to have all the answers. We don't claim to have the absolutely perfect, definite, this is the cannabis policy we have to enact down to the letter, because we know for sure it'll work, because the honest truth is we don't know. We haven't had an effective cannabis policy in this country for a long time. We talk about targeting messages, we talk about knowing your audience, things like that. But beyond that, we always want to allow a range of opinions and diversity, because that's the only way we're going to work towards a better policy. Pretty much everybody who's alive today has grown up in a world where cannabis was prohibited. It was illegal. The government said it's bad, you can't have it, and if you do have it, or if you do anything with it, possess it, use it, sell it, buy it, you're a criminal, you should be put in jail.
Why do you think marijuana, or even medical marijuana, why do you think it's such a big controversy in the public?
So there was a lot of misinformation. It was an issue where it was easy when the government controlled the policy, and different organizations were able to, both in terms of enacting the legislation back in the 30s and then later in the 70s, to criminalize cannabis and other drugs. They were able to control the messaging in a much stronger way. So people believed a lot of things that simply weren't true, either because they weren't understood, or they were understood and they were misrepresented. Of course, we see that in a lot of issues. We've seen it with tobacco. It comes down to misinformation. The biggest change, I think, in the last 20, 30 years has been the rise of alternative sources of information, the internet, different ways of learning the truth about and learning the truth, and for organizations like ours and related drug policy organizations to get their message out. Some of these policy issues change much more quickly than they have in the past. The combination of the facts, the truth getting out there, and also more and more people understanding that it's a part of our culture. Politicians simply can't ignore, because there are too many people that agree, that the policy needs to be changed, and not enough people that are against it, and ultimately politicians are responsive to election results. And it used to be the case that being supportive of a different drug policy was seen as completely a liability with no gains. Now it's starting to turn around the other way. We're starting to see cases where politicians are being elected because they're pro policy that's more supportive of cannabis and other drugs. We've seen it on different levels in different races, even in states like Texas. So it's changing quickly.